Be in the know with unlimited access to IBJ and Inside Indiana Business. Our in-depth coverage of all things business means you'll always be completely in the know. Subscribe for just $1 a week. Get started now at ibj.com/trial offer.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Wednesday, December 31st, 2025. I'm Alex Braun. Mishawaka Parks and Recreation is preparing to align its programming, facilities, and cultural assets with the South Bend-Elkhart Regional Arts and Culture Plan as the city positions itself to pursue competitive funding through a statewide arts initiative backed by the Lilly Endowment. Superintendent Phil Blasco says the effort centers on using parks and public spaces as platforms for art, creative placemaking, and community engagement.
We're seeing a lot of different age groups interact with the art that we currently have, and we're always trying to figure out new ways to add more art as we go.
Among the ideas under consideration are expanded public art installations along the city's Riverwalk. The parent company of industrial services providers Material Management Technologies and American Processing Services is expanding operations in Posey County. American Industrial Group said this month the $1.25 million expansion will create 11 new full-time skilled manufacturing jobs. The company currently has about 30 full-time Indiana employees. The latest report from the Indiana Association of Realtors shows that home sales across the state saw a slowdown in November. Pending home sales last month totaled 5,840, which is 1% higher than the same month in 2024. However, closed sales saw a 5% year-over-year decrease. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Thanks for listening to this IBJ Media podcast. You're probably going to remember this ad. Do you know why? Podcast advertising works. 85% of listeners recalled hearing an ad during a podcast, and 70% of podcast listeners have acted after hearing an ad. So whether you're looking to be heard across the entire IBJ Media Podcast Network, sponsor one of our shows, or just start with a 30-second ad, IBJ Media can help. Contact advertise@ibj.com to learn more.
A proposal allowing the Hoosier Lottery to sell tickets online and the opening of a Fort Wayne area casino are in the cards for what could be Indiana's biggest gambling expansion since sports wagering was legalized in 2019.
Legislators started advancing the Fort Wayne casino plan in December and are expected to take up an online lottery bill soon after they return to the State House in January. While those look to be the gambling topics most likely to gain traction, some lawmakers also want to authorize internet casino games and to push consideration of a downtown Indianapolis casino. Representative Ethan Manning of Logansport, chair of the House Public Policy Committee that handles gambling-related bills, said he believes iLottery is much closer than iGaming to winning the approval of lawmakers. Manning's committee last year endorsed a bill for both online lottery and casino games, but it didn't reach the full House for a vote amid concerns that internet gambling would draw business away from physical casinos and risk greater gambling addiction. Manning said during the recent Denton's legislative conference that he was sponsoring a bill for this session dealing only with the online lottery. He said if the bill gets passed in this short session, it would only take 12 to 18 months before the state starts collecting iLottery revenues, which the legislature would then be able to consider going into the 2027 budget year. Abriana Herron, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Governor Mike Braun is reinstating a statewide body to oversee Indiana's workforce development initiatives and realign with federal law. On Tuesday, Braun signed an executive order to reconstitute the Indiana Workforce Development Board, which was dissolved earlier this year. In a press release, the governor's office said the new board will act as a central coordinating body to align employers, education and training providers, and state agencies around measurable workforce outcomes. While many will watch the ball drop in Times Square tonight, the city of Whiting will ring in the new year by dropping a giant pierogi into a boiling cauldron at midnight. The 10-foot illuminated dumpling will descend more than 50 feet on a permanent flagpole, accompanied by fireworks, polka music, and church bells. Now in its 10th year, the event was recently named the top New Year's Eve ball drop in the country by USA Today 10 Best. Event organizer Andy Dybel.
This is the closest you're going to find in the Midwest to a legitimate ball drop. I think we do it pretty professionally. Like I said, we've got our permanent pole. We got a good-looking pierogi that we drop. We do fireworks. We have countdown clocks. We have live entertainment. We put on a real good show.
Organizers expect up to 1,800 people to attend, with visitors coming from across the Chicagoland region and even Canada. Catch up on the latest episodes of the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now on the IBJ Media app or your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Braun for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.
Get a behind-the-scenes look at Indiana's most influential leaders. On Business and Beyond, we go beyond titles and resumes to explore the personal stories, pivotal moments, and hard-won lessons that shape Hoosier leadership. Hear from the people driving Indiana forward in their own words. Subscribe and listen wherever you get your podcast or at ibjpodcasts.com.
Want to give your team a real edge? The IBJ Group Plan delivers unlimited access to every story, every report, every video from IBJ and Inside Indiana Business for your whole team. Cover some or all of your employees with one simple payment. The more you add, the more you save. It's smart, it's flexible, and it saves you up to 30% off the standard rate. Already have IBJ subscribers in your office? Group up and save big. Learn more and get started now at ibj.com/group-plan.